Radio Solent.
11:15 Friday morning, Josh in for Katie Martin. I want to know from you now, when it comes to money, what lesson do you wish you'd learnt sooner? Managing money, understanding pay slips, what tax actually is and or does. 0808 100 3800 to call me for free, or you can WhatsApp as well. 08000 321 333 and start your message with the word Solent. When it comes to money, what do you wish you'd learnt sooner? Do you have kids or grandkids that you're trying to teach all of this now? Are they learning it at school? Adrian is the South Manager at the financial education charity Money Ready and joins me in the studio this morning. Morning, Adrian.
Morning, Josh. Thanks so much for having me in.
Oh, no, the pleasure is mine. I think let's introduce you to the folks listening and sort of talk around what Money Ready does, because it's quite an important thing, I think, what you all do.
I thought, thank you. Yeah, we do too. Money Ready is a financial education charity. We're celebrating our 20th year this year, and we are all about making money make sense. It's something that is not naturally imbued in you when you're born. You have to learn these lessons, and perhaps sometimes the education system doesn't provide all the information everybody needs. You might leave school knowing Pythagoras' theorem, but if you don't know how to check your bank account online or what compound interest is, that's arguably going to be more impactful on your life. So that's what we're all about, really.
So do you go out and visit schools, or
we do?
How does that work?
Yeah, we work with young people from the age of 4 to 40 in a whole variety of settings. So, yeah, a lot of the work we do is in schools and colleges, but we do an awful lot with young adults, with those perhaps post-16s who might need a little bit of extra support in living independently, because those skills rely on being taught by somebody they know and they trust, and perhaps that person isn't always in their lives. So we work a lot with young people who perhaps are not in education, employment and training, just to give them make a level playing field, really, so that everybody understands how to make the most of their money, because arguably that's never been more important than it is now, with the cost of living crisis that we keep being told about and we all feel in our pockets every time we go shopping.
It's interesting you mentioned this idea of just trying to engage people with it, because I think I don't think this is an unfair thing to say. We as a country are generally we don't want to talk about money. We don't want to talk about finances. Certainly previously. Now I think, however, that's kind of been smashed through because of the pressures of what we're all facing.
I think you're absolutely right. Money is a taboo. People don't like to talk about their income. They don't like to talk about if they're struggling, if they're not managing. There's a taboo around it. There's a fear factor, an embarrassment about it. But actually, financial problems very often come knocking at the door through no fault of our own. External circumstances can cause anybody to have difficulty, a period of ill health, unemployment, any of those things could happen to any of us at any time. And being able to weather that storm and make sure that every penny that we do receive, we're making the most of, is what we really want to encourage people to try and do. And education is the crucial first step in that. If you don't know what to do, how can you make the right choices?
Adrian is the South Manager at the financial education charity Money Ready. In a few minutes, Adrian, I think let's dive into what you're seeing with young people. What are you hearing from young people? What don't they understand? What are the barriers they're facing right now? Let's dive into that in a few minutes' time. And I want to know from you, wherever you're listening right now across Hampshire, Dorset or the Isle of Wight, when it comes to money, what lesson do you wish you'd learnt sooner? Managing money, understanding money, what tax is. What do you wish you knew sooner? 0808 100 3800 to call me for free this morning. Or you can WhatsApp as well, 08000 321 333 and start your message with the word Solent. Good morning. It's Josh in for Katie Martin this morning.
Bowness. BBC.
And we're also talking money at the moment. Adrian is part of the financial education charity Money Ready. Joins me in the studio. Morning, Adrian.
Good morning.
Good morning. We've dived into what Money Ready do and how they support young people across the country. But Adrian's role is to do that specifically here in the South. And I know you've got an event coming up next week, which we can come on to. But when you're out and about meeting young people, are they generally unprepared? for understanding money, and what don't they understand?
Well, where do we start? Well, that's a huge question. It really depends on their life experience so far. But there are so many things that we, those of us who do understand how finance works, take for granted. But simple things like comparing prices, the fact that we do have comparison sites now that allow us to make sure we're always getting the best deal on a whole range of products, not just insurance. We all see the adverts on the TV for insurance comparison sites, but they also compare bank accounts and energy prices and broadband. And people are just so reliant on just renewing automatically every year. They don't realise that they could possibly be saving a lot of money if they just spent the time to compare their prices every time they renew. Things like how do bank accounts work? How do taxes work? What does it mean when we have to pay national insurance and income tax when we get paid? What happens if we think we've overpaid? There are so many questions. I could spend the rest of the programme listing off questions that I've answered, Josh.
Is there something around budgeting and keeping track of your money? Because I think certainly that I've noticed this, that I'm very much guilty of this in the last few years. Because everything's on your phone now. You just walk around, tip, tip, tap, 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 tap.
There is so much to do with that. Yeah, it's so easy to spend money now. When I was younger, if I was going out shopping, I might have £5 in my pocket. And when that £5 was gone, I know I'd spent all my money for the day. But when you can just tap your phone until your heart's content, how do you keep track of what has gone? The fact that we're using cash a lot less has got a big impact on our self-control with our spending, I think. So that absolutely is a factor, yes.
Daniel's messaged in and said, I wish I'd opted in for the pension when I started working in retail in 94. I chose not to as I wasn't planning on being there long, and 32 years later I'm still here trying to catch up.
That's absolutely the case. You know, we say in our sessions that the amount of money you contribute to your pension between the age of 25 and 35 produces the same amount of income as making the same contributions between the age of 35 and 65. Those first 10 years are crucial. They have the time. The money then has the time to compound and grow. And so many people totally understandably go, I'm saving for a house deposit. I want to have a bit of fun. I'm young. I want to spend my money. I'll worry about my pension when I'm 40. And of course, that is a perfectly acceptable choice, as long as you understand that you are throwing away the opportunity to have all that growth. So yeah, that comment is absolutely right. Starting your pension as soon as you can really help your long-term future. No one wants to think about retirement when they're 22, which is the age auto-enrolment pensions start. But if you do neglect to do that, you may pay the price later on in life.
Adrian, as you say, there's so much we could speak about, and we just don't have the time this morning, but I'm really appreciative of your time. I know you're working on something at the moment with the team around the cost of not knowing.
That's right. Our Cost of Not Knowing campaign reflects on the things we've already looked at this morning, or started to talk about this morning. We have done some research, and if you are simply unaware of a lot of the key facts around managing your own money, that can cost you I'm sorry, got the number wrong there. That's all right. That can cost you
640 a year?
Yes, that's right. 600. I'm really sorry.
No, it's okay.
I didn't mention to this earlier. I'm actually recovering from a brain injury. 3 years ago, I had a brain hemorrhage, and the one thing that it has impacted me on is that I can't say numbers and dates and times. And when your job is financial education, that's really pants.
Oh, Adrian,
so I didn't have that number written down in front of me. I messed it up. I'm really sorry about that.
You don't need to. You never need to apologise for that.
Okay, no worries at all.
Or explain yourself. But the point is, it costs a lot of people.
It absolutely
a lot of
does.
Money.
The cost of not knowing is enormous. And if we just spend a little bit more time researching and thinking about our finances, and there's so much help out there, but we have to go find it. And at Money Ready, we would really love if financial education were more central on the national curriculum. It has been boosted, but we don't really quite know exactly what that's going to look like. And we're all about trying to make sure that as many people as possible really understand the choices they've got in front of them and how to make the best choice for them.
Adrian, thank you so much for your time this morning. You've spoken really, really clearly, and I think so many people will be listening to this thinking, my kids, my grandkids are going through this right now. I don't know where to start, don't know where to look, how this all works. You're also working with businesses next week, I understand.
That's right. So next week we have a showcase event, which is being hosted by Quilter here in Southampton, and we have got delivery partners from right across the south coming to join us. Some people that we are working with at the moment, and some people we'd really love to do a bit more work with, and we're just going to be showing off exactly what we do and how we do it, just to make sure as many people as possible can benefit from Money Ready's financial education.
It's a very important thing. There's so much I wish I'd learnt when I was understanding money, getting a bank account, what have you. So I wish that I'd met some of your team a bit sooner in my life. Adrian New is the South Manager at Money Ready, the financial education charity. And if you're part of a school, a college, university, a youth charity or an organisation interested in financial education, you can search Money Ready Southampton Showcase online or head to their website, moneyready.org. Adrian,
Perfect.
have a lovely day. Thank you so much for your time.
No, thank you, Josh. Lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you too. Right, okay, it's 11 o'clock. Let's bring you up to date.